Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Rigging on Thursday with the coach here at lovely Lake Eufaula and Big Bite Baits. As you can tell, we're on the lake today. We're going to try something a little new today, Jordan. And actually, it's a mud hole. And I got Garrett Paquette here with me, Big Bite Bait Pro. And he's going to talk to you in just a few minutes about a chatterbait in muddy water and a little bit about our products that we have that we put on the back of a chatterbait to make it really good, and about the mud and some different things like that. But before we do, I just want to give everybody a shout out about the Bassmasters Classic. We will be at the Classic next week. We'll be doing an update each day for you at 12 o'clock, starting on Thursday through Sunday. I'll come on live and talk about the different things that we have going on there at the Classic and things that are going to be offered. We're going to have all of our new colors there. We're going to have the Flamethrower there, which you're going to hear a lot about in a few minutes. It's booth 2543. The show's open from 12 to 7 on Friday. It's open from 10 to 6 on Saturday and from 10 to 4 on Sunday at the BJCC there in Birmingham. And we look forward to seeing everybody come out. Garrett, it's good to have you today. I'm going to turn it over to Garrett, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about it today, and I'll see all you guys next week. Go ahead, Garrett.
All right. So obviously, probably the hottest trend in bass fishing right now is the red chatterbait. Everyone's trying to get them. No one can find them. They're out of stock everywhere. And I must say I'm kind of a little disappointed about this, because I was a little bit of ahead of the trend, and I was all stocked up ready for our spring tournaments, and then right before we go to Chickamauga and we come here, the news breaks and everyone's on it. So anyways, I'm really excited about this though. Big Bite stepped up. They're the first ones to the punch, and we've come up with the Flamethrower Kamikaze swim on for the back. This was already my favorite trailer as it was, you know, just for traditional greens, blues, white colors, but I could never find the trailer to match this red chatterbait. And I was actually thinking, like, I actually ordered some of the red swim baits that we offer, and I was just trying to, you know, mix matching and just trying to, you know, kind of put something together just to match it. But we've come out with this. This is really hot. They're selling like crazy. I mean, they can't keep them in stock anywhere. And when this really shines is exactly what we have right here. If you look around, you can see just how muddy this lake is. I mean, it's almost unfishable, but you have to give them a presentation. You have to give them a color that allows the fish to see the bait, and there's nothing better than red in the spring. So this is really exciting. You know, you're gonna see a lot of this. You'll probably see a lot of it in the Classic, probably this exact setup right here, and I wouldn't be surprised if the tournament is won on it, honestly. But for all of you guys that are in the South, you know, down in Texas, it's gonna be a big deal, Alabama, anywhere where red is a player, this is gonna be what you wanna get your hands on it, and you wanna start throwing it from now until these fish spawn. But this isn't the only trailer I'll throw on the back of a chatterbait. We're gonna go over that right now. So I'll go with percentage-wise. This is probably the swim on in general is probably what I'm throwing. I'd say 80% of the time. You know, one thing that I really like about this is it lets a vibrating jig do what it does best. It just takes the action from the blade. It's not back there doing a whole lot. Every time the blade moves, the trailer moves with it, which is really important. So you're not overpowering anything. It's just a real natural presentation. It's pretty slender and small, so I can fish a little faster, which is what I like to do. But there are times where that's not exactly what you want, and here are some of them. In a cold front, when you have really, really cold temperatures and the fishing gets really tough, I actually like going to a paddle tail. This right here is our cane Thumper. I'll bite the head down maybe a ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch, and I'll put that in the back of a chatterbait. And I can't really explain why it makes such of a difference, but the paddle tail in cold front conditions, a lot of times we'll get a lot more bites than something like the split tail. And I'm not gonna get into the scientific breakdown, but that's a tip for you guys, that if you experience that, go and put a paddle tail trailer on the back. Another one, and this is, you know, kind of unique, is actually just the fighting frog. Everybody knows this as a great flipping bait. You know, I know it as the best bed fishing bait I've ever used, but this is a really good bait when you're around really, really shallow cover or when you're skipping boat docks. I rig it flat like this, so the hook's coming out of the top. That way you get all that surface area when you're casting and skipping and sliding the bait under the docks, as well as when you want to keep the bait high in the water column. Like, you know, for instance, we have a lot of shoregrass here in Eufaula, and if I were to throw a chatterbait in that, I don't want something that's going to sink really quick. I want it to stay, you know, close to the surface, and that's when this bait would really shine in that situation. So,
Do you like to match your chatterbait trailer to the color chatterbait that you're using, Gary? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. For the most part, I do. Yeah. Like, I mean, if I'm throwing green pumpkin, I'm throwing a green pumpkin base trailer usually. I might be all green pumpkin, maybe with a chartreuse tip. you know, I'll throw this out there. This is the green pumpkin flamethrower that we have. So this is kind of how it mixed. I mean, I have mostly a red chatterbait here. I might throw this. It's still got the red hue to it, but you have the green in there as well. You know, I might do that. Whereas if I'm throwing a green pumpkin chatterbait, I'll go to green pumpkin blue flake. You know, maybe green pumpkin with a chartreuse belly. But I do like to match for the most part. I know there's guys out there that will do like a black and blue on green pumpkin, and you know, if that works for them and that gives them confidence, then that's fine. But for me, I like to stay on the same shade of color for the most part.
What about what setup do you use to throw chatterbaits most of the time?
Yeah, for the most part, this is my, I'll go with 2 setups. If I'm throwing, you know, if I'm not really worried about how accurate my casting is and I'm more in open water, I'm throwing this rod right here. This is a 7.4 medium heavy Douglas rod with a 6.3 to 1 Lew's BB1 Pro with 18-pound Sunline Sniper. You know, one thing is a lot of the guys are using fiberglass rods or glass rods for chatterbait. They want the real slow action. For me, I'm not real high on that. You know, I really like to make sure I can control if the bait comes out of the grass. So the fiberglass to me is a little bit too slow at times where I feel like my bait's getting bogged down. I can't clear it out. So I do stay with a graphite rod. But the one thing about Sunline Sniper is compared to like Shooter is that it's got a little more stretch than that. So I like to get my stretch in my line if I can. So that's why I'm using Sniper. And then if I'm going around docks or a lot of cover, I'll go to a 7.1 medium heavy. Same reel, same line for the most part. You know, I might go 16 if the water's really clear. If we're around really big fish or really heavy cover, maybe I'll go 20-pound. But for the most part, it's that setup.
Okay.
Got a couple questions for you. Social Angler says, pressure lake, what's your first lure to go to?
On a pressured lake, I mean, that's, you know, every lake's different, but really it's really hard to beat a drop shot day in and day out.
Right, of some type.
A
Okay.
drop shot of some type.
And Casey Smith Fishing wants to know, what's your favorite bait to use on a swing head?
Favorite bait to use on a swing head is the big bite fighting frog. That has really good action, and you know, throw that out there and just reel it the whole time. There's a bunch of little arms on there that impart action throughout the retrieve.
Okay, so that about wraps up the questions we have for you right now.
How about a giveaway today?
Yeah, let's do a question for you guys, okay?
All right, great.
Since we are in the red season, I'm gonna give away this red prize pack with an assortment of our baits. And since we have the Classic right around the corner at Gunnersville, I'm gonna do a double question, put both of the answers in together. Who won the last Classic at Gunnersville, and who won the last regular season elite event at Gunnersville?
Okay, whoever answers that right first.
This is $30. This is a $30 retail package that we've got right now online at Big Bite Baits, and we'd like to thank Garrett for coming out with us today. It's been great, and we'll see you next week at the Bassmasters Classic.
See you guys.